everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to be changing the fluid in my transfer case of my 2017 Chevy Colorado. There's two different transfer cases for the Chevy Colorados. They are identical in fluid capacity, which is 2 quarts. So this should be the same process for both transfer cases. The only difference being the location of the fill and the drain plug might slightly be different. But anyways, my truck's a Z71. I have a skid plate here, which kind of blocks the drain plug, which is underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the skid plate out of the way. It has 3 bolts on the cross member here, transmission cross member. That's a 15 millimeter, and you can see them in the back there. There's 3 here, 1, 2, 3. Actually, you don't even need to remove it. Just get those 2 bolts loosened and removed, and then you can just spin it out of the way. What we're looking at here, this is the drain plug, and this is the fill plug. Pretty simple stuff. Just like the differentials, you want to check and make sure you can remove the fill plug first, because if you can't get the fill plug out, you have a hard time filling it back up. The fill and the drain plugs are the same size. It's an 18 millimeter socket, so just get yourself up in there, and then you can remove the plugs. So also super loose. My fluid looks okay, but for video purposes I'm doing this for you guys. So I'm going to let that drain for a good while, and then I'm going to clean off the plugs. So now that I've let that drain for a while, and I've cleaned up my drain plugs and I put some thread tape on them so they don't leak, I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the drain plug. And there's no difference between these 2 plugs. Like the differentials, one of them has a magnet. These are both identical. So just get it threaded. And the torque spec for these 2 plugs is 18 foot-pounds, which is not a whole lot. Pretty close. Now the fluid you need to use in the transfer case is an ATF, and I'm using the latest and greatest Mobil 1 synthetic LV ATF HP, which is the new fluid they're using in the transmissions as well. So there is the regular ATF, which I think has a red label, but I figured I'd just go with the latest and the greatest. So the capacity is 2 quarts, but similar rule of thumb, you're going to want to stop when the fluid starts to come out of the fill hole. I am also going to use a pump like I did for the differentials, because this is really hard to get to, and then we'll go from there. And it's just starting to leak over now. I'm going to do one more pump, and that's basically the end of the bottle too. And we're going to call it a day. So I'm going to take the fill plug after I wipe this off, thread it into place. Remember, 18 foot-pounds. It's not a lot, so I can't really get my torque wrench in here for this. But if you have a small torque wrench, you can. And after you get those tightened back up, all you have to do now is put the bolts back in the skid plate, tighten them up, and you're good to go. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Love it if you subscribed, and stay tuned for more. Later, guys.